Hey, how's it going, everybody? Sorry, no parlay doc tonight. Just going to be me. Sorry that I'm a little bit late. I was just waiting to see if parlay doc was able to join, but he couldn't get off of work in time, so it's just going to be me. So I'll keep this one brief. There's a couple plays on the positive EV page that you can currently lock in as we speak that I really like. There's some that I have locked in as well, but it looks like those have all changed. But the ones that I like, this Brian Robinson over 9.5 rushing attempts, I think is really good. Minus 114 on FanDuel. I mean, Bet Online minus 149, DraftKings minus 145, Caesars minus 157. If you open this one up in a new tab, we can see, yeah, it looks like other books like PointsBet prices it at 10.5 and not super juiced towards the under either, which is a huge deal. So also not a bad DFS play if you want to take Brian Robinson over rushing attempts on underdog. So I'm going to go ahead and lock this in. I'm going to put a full unit on this one. Brian Robinson over 9.5 rushing attempts, $100 on this one. Full unit. Let me just add this to my bet tracker real quick. So the play to confirm is Brian Robinson over 9.5 rushing attempts, minus 114 at FanDuel. The next play, so I actually locked this one in already. I got it at a different yardage prop, but it's still available. This Taylor Heineke under 213.5 passing yards, I think is really good. If you want to be a little bit safer, you can take him to go under 216.5 at Tipico. Can also take him to go under 215.5 at BetMGM. I would take both of those. And then the positive EV play, of course, is the under 213.5 at Bet365. I know Bet365 isn't super available where everybody is, but I absolutely love this one. I think the Eagles have given up over 200 yards passing against them once in the last 5 games. Their defense has been incredible. Heineke, as much excitement and energy that he brings to the Commanders' offense, quite frankly, stinks. So I'm not really buying anything about him. The Eagles defense, Heineke stinks under pressure. He's got a weak arm and he's willing to just kind of chuck it up. So the Eagles secondary, they have won their the turnover battle in every single game. And I just don't see them having any success. I think they're going to try and run the ball a ton because that's where the Eagles are weak, is at running the ball. So that's why I liked the Brian Robinson one. But I love fading Taylor Heineke to go under his passing yardage prop. The 2 anytime touchdown score bets that I like, I can get into a little bit here as well, because these are obviously still going to be available. And you guys can ride with me if you didn't catch that video already. Number 1, my favorite play is Devonta Smith. So you can actually, I got it at plus 200 at FanDuel. You can actually get it at plus 210 at DraftKings now. He's my favorite player to score. The Commanders have the literal 32nd ranked defense when it comes to guarding the opposing offense's number 2 receiving option. So I know that's kind of a mouthful, but the number 2 receiving option. So in this case, it's very clearly Smith, and the Commanders are the worst in the NFL at it. AJ Brown's the number 1. Devonta Smith is the number 2. Simple as that. Part of that probably has to do with the fact that Devonta Smith went off for 8 receptions for 169 yards and a touchdown against the Commanders last time these two teams played. I'm not necessarily saying he's going to put up those types of stats, but I do think Smith is in line to have a good game. So he's my favorite player on the Eagles. My favorite player on the Commanders is Terry McLaurin. I just think that's really good value all the way up at plus 270. He's been pretty good since Heineke became the quarterback. Heineke kind of loves just hyper targeting Terry McLaurin, and he'll just throw him jump balls. The Eagles defense has been, as I mentioned, really good this year. But if there's any weakness specifically to Slay's a very sticky cover cornerback. He can stick with receivers. He's not great at jump ball situations. And McLaurin's a great receiver. He can win with route running, and he can also win with jump balls, where he made multiple insane catches that were contested catches. That's the word I'm looking for. So I think, if Heineke just tosses one up, I think it's possible that McLaurin can come down with one in the end zone. So he's my favorite on the Commanders. In terms of an SGP, we did get one to cash yesterday, which was really, really nice. It's our first one that Andrew and I have done together that we got to cash. Actually, what I will say, it might have been bet down too much, but I also really like the under in this game. So I've gotten it at 2 lines. I got it at 44.5 and I got it at 43. Looks like the 44.5 is too juiced and the 43 is too juiced as well. I think if I were to take the under, I think I would take under 43.5 minus 115 at BetMGM. I do love the under in this one. Divisional games, the second time two teams play each other tends to trend under. And these two teams just played and the Commanders couldn't even get more than 6 offensive points. They scored 8 points total. 2 of them was on a safety when the Eagles stopped them at the 1-yard line. And that wasn't until the game was way, way, way out of reach. They didn't score until the 4th quarter, I'm pretty sure was their first point. Eagles almost had a shutout going. And the Commanders defense has been playing well as of late, much better than when they started the year. So I could see this one being a little bit of a clunker Monday Night Football game. So I do love the under. So if you want to take that under 43.5 minus 115 at BetMGM, it's not going to be part of my SGP because it's been bet down too much on FanDuel. But let's get this SGP to cash. So I actually am fading Miles Sanders rushing yards this week. The Commanders are very good at stopping the run, but they can be beat through the air. So I'm going to add, there you go, anytime touchdown score. I'm going to add Smith. It's my favorite player to score a touchdown. And I'm also going to add Smith's receiving yards. I'm going to make it a little bit safer. Instead of going 60 plus, I'm going to go 50 plus to make this plus 687 odds. Just going to make it a 3-leg same game parlay plus 687 odds. Going to put half of a unit on it, $50 to win 300. Sanders under 66.5 rushing yards. Smith anytime touchdown score. Smith 50 plus receiving yards. And that is going to be it. So let's go ahead and lock this bad boy in. If you're tailing it, comment on the, hit me up on Twitter at Jedi Mode. I do whatever you want to do. But that's going to be it for this live stream. Couple bets for you guys to place, and that's it. So everybody enjoyed the game tonight. I know I will. Go Birds, and have a good one.